delicious. Games have gone through an interesting mutation lately. I'm not saying there were never games before now that realized they were fundamentally different from movies and books, but it seems like only recently that the vast majority of devs have realized this. A really clever game designer can take the simple fact that a player is guiding the action on screen and do so much with it that just isn't possible without that variable. They use it to make you, the player, invested in what's going on. Not your avatar in the game world, you. And when that works, it can hit home in a way that makes you wonder how other games can even pretend to have deep and engaging stories. And that pretty much sums up how I felt when playing Celeste. This game is about Madeline and all the circumstances that led to her wanting to scale the legendary Mount Celeste. True to the setting, this is not going to be an easy climb. It's a fairly tough platformer that you navigate as a character with exactly 3 defining abilities. You can cling onto walls, jump off the walls, and dash. You get exactly 1 dash in any direction while in the air, which recharges the instant you touch down on solid ground again. It's one of those titles where the concept is really simple, but what keeps it interesting is all the different ways the game plays around with those moves as it goes on. And you better get really familiar with all the mechanics, because the level of execution this game demands of you sometimes is pretty freaking high. There is an assist mode in the game that can let you adjust anything from how far you can climb to how fast the game runs in real time. But it also comes with a message from the developers. The message states that they were going for a very specific experience with Celeste, and by using this mode, you might miss out on it. Because of that, I ended up not using assist mode despite my low tolerance for super difficult games at the time. And in hindsight, I'm really glad I made that choice. As I played Celeste, I went through the same mental journey that Madeline did. Early on, I couldn't help but ask myself if this was even worth it, if I was just bashing my head against a brick wall for no good reason. But you know what kept me going? It was her. It's the story this game was trying to tell, and how it made me realize that, difficulty or not, I had to finish it. There was a moment I distinctly remember where I realized the increasing challenge of the game as I went on didn't matter anymore. Quite the contrary, the further I got into Celeste, the more motivated I became, the more I wanted to see this journey through to the end, because it meant something more than just a trophy. This was personal. This was about proving something to myself. This was about doing something only I could. Celeste is one of those precious few games that achieves a state of meaning so much more when you're the one behind the controller. This is the kind of game you have to experience yourself to get the most out of, because it has so much more impact when it's your actions that lead to its conclusion. I've seen the top of Mount Celeste now, and considering the themes and subjects this game addresses, I don't think it would have meant nearly as much if I hadn't put up with some kind of hardship along the way. Celeste did something that games like Dark Souls and Super Meat Boy never did for me. It changed my mindset towards the concept of failure. It taught me that falling isn't something I should get mad about, or, more importantly, be afraid of. The game keeps track of how many lives you've lost, but tells you to wear that like a badge of honor, because that shows that you're learning. It proves that you never gave up. There are optional collectibles here and there, and even some truly mind-bending secrets beyond that, but the game tells you not to sweat them because they're not nearly as important as you literally and philosophically moving forward. There is a point to collecting them, and there is far more of this game to discover if you're willing to push yourself. And after I watched the credits roll, I went back to get them because I realized that, yeah, I did want to see the rest of it. I chose to take on much tougher challenges because look at how much I had accomplished already. This game lit a fire in me. It made me want to strive for more instead of browbeating and making me feel like I had to because of some sense of insecurity or whatever. And that is the power of Celeste. That is what makes it something really, truly special. But beyond even that, this is a game I just needed to play right now. If you're going through a tough time in your life, or you feel like things just aren't working out, I can highly recommend Celeste to you. It's an incredible piece of work that helped me through things I had been struggling with even as an adult. There are moments in this game that redefine the meaning of the word profound, moments that feel incredibly personal and heartfelt, moments that might, and I'm not even using hyperbole here, leave you a better person, or at the very least, a much happier one. Not bad for a little indie platformer, eh? I give Celeste my rating of homemade pizza. A lot of people are intimidated by the idea of cooking. It's messy and time-consuming, and what if you screw something up? What if you burn it or get some of the measurements wrong? But that's why you don't do it alone. You go online and get the recipe from someone. You learn from people who have been through this before, or maybe ask a close friend to help you out. And when you finally pull that thing out of the oven, let it cool a bit, and take your first bite, I guarantee you, it's going to be the greatest thing you've ever tasted. Why? Simply because you earned this.